I am well, I am peaceful and at ease, I am happy, I am filled with loving kindness, I am well, I am peaceful and at ease, and I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Jay, the spiritual director here, and so glad to have everybody here today. What a beautiful day. I opened up the curtains this morning, but there may be too much glare on the TV, so I may close it a little bit. Can you see the TV okay, or is there glare? It's not on now, so you can't. Oh, you're so smart, Imelda. How about now? Okay. Yeah, right. Well, either way, let's open up our eyes and our voices and join Bodhi in singing this opening song.
All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. All that I see, hear, all that I hear, feel, all that I feel is God. All that I have and do, all that I do, all that I am is God. Let me hear you this time.
All that I see.
Beautiful. All that I am is God.
So wonderful to be here today. We'd like to begin our service with our vision and mission. So if you'll look up on the screen and read with me, we are an inclusive community. And our mission statement. She said, thank you for not making us stand up because some people were tired from a long day yesterday. About 300 people were there for Crush MS and a very successful fundraising in order to crush MS, to do more research and everything. This is the 11th year that the Reeds have hosted it, and they have raised a significant amount of money, nearing $1 million over the last 11 years. And the doctors who were there from Stanford are saying it's making a huge difference right now, so we're happy. So thank you for part of being making a big difference in that and so many other things we do as a community. So thank you so much for that. Let you know a few things going on in upcoming. August 3rd, which is next Sunday, which is, by the way, after the end of July comes August. I know that may be a surprise to you, but that's what happens. So August 3rd, we're going to continue the community singing we've had, but we have a new host for that. Reverend Georgia has decided to let that go, and Julianne Poor, who's a new singer we have with us, who plays the guitar so she can accompany songs, will be here to lead us, and I encourage you to be part of that. It'll be right after the service at 12:15 right here in the sanctuary. So, and hopefully we're going to come out of this with a joy choir that will sing occasionally, not a requirement of going to the singing. You can just show up to sing, and that's fine to do. And then on the 10th, I am being upstaged here, aren't I? We're singing. They're already singing, right? So on August 10th, we have a special workshop facilitator. Her name is Ann House, and she's coming in to do a workshop on soul collage. This is a really cool process. You might compare it to vision boards, except it's more about a individual expression of who you are at the soul level, and she'll go through a process of it. And just an introduction to this process that we're excited about. And you'll use multimedia, including magazine clippings and different things like that. And it's just for a gratitude donation, no initial thing, but she does want you to sign up ahead of time at the information table, and for the Joy Choir as well, because we just want to know how many participants, but particular for the soul collage, because she needs to gather materials for it. So if you could sign up ahead of time, that would be great. Also, that August 10th, we have our green food bag donations, which means that we invite you to get a green bag if you don't already have one. There are some available. Fill it up with non-perishables, bring us back between August 3rd and August 10th, and then we'll take that to the food bank to be part of their regular collection. And Janice is here if you have any questions about that. She's glad to have it. Do we have some green bags today if people want them? We have some green bags today. So you can take them today, and you can even bring them back if you're not going to be here on the 10th. You can bring them back on the 3rd or during the week at any time. We're glad to take the collection, and then Janice takes it on the Monday after the 10th. So it's a great way, and thank you, Janice, for all that you do. You've been doing it for what, 3 years, 4 years? Going on what? I guess I have to learn to count. 7 years we've been doing that. And Napa Can Do is part of Napa Can Do, which also sponsors Pro Inclusion. And Pro Inclusion had a great, if you follow the Press Democrat, a great article. I think somebody has the article here, so you can see it after the service if you want to. But featured Pro Inclusion, great. Thank you, Joanne, for all the work you and Laura do to promote that as well. So another project that we're involved in with other interfaith and nonprofit communities. So. And then there is a new class starting in September, on September 11th. On Thursdays, it's going to be a 6-week class called 5 Steps to Freedom. And this is about, you often hear the practitioners or I or Reverend Georgia talk about affirmative prayer. Another name for this is spiritual mind treatment. So this is a class that's just going to dive into how to do it, how to use it in your lives. And it's actually, when Ernest Holmes devised it, other people were doing similar kinds of prayer, but he put it into 5 steps. But the actual form of prayer is not only based in modern science, but in ancient cultures of Jewish and early Christians and different Native American and Celtic Christian, different communities that had this kind of prayer that first centered in spirit, like centered almost like meditation, and communed with spirit instead of speaking out to a God out there. And so we'll go through this process. You'll experience this idea and be able to use it in your regular life. And what we found is it has incredible power. Both meditation and affirmative prayer have proven benefits in your life to encourage you to be a part of that. And if you're not sure, you're kind of on the fence, I don't know if I'm going to spend 6 weeks and on Thursdays doing that, there is an introduction class the Sunday before that on the 7th. So just come, no obligation, come to the introduction class and get a sense of what the class is going to be like and your interest. So that'll be free, like I said, no obligation. So the Sunday, the 7th of September. That's still a month away, but I kind of want you to get your calendar set up because it requires 6 Thursdays of your time to do that. 6:30 to 8:30, so a reasonable amount of time. And I'll be teaching that. And if you're interested in it, there's more information at the information table or online on our website. And then also we're having healing circles, and we're having the next one, well, here, right there. We did have these little sheets. Hopefully you picked one of these up, and it says the healing circle is on, I don't have it here on my sheet, the 13th of September, so it's still a ways away. We couldn't schedule one in August because of just different vacations and different things, so we'll have one in September. And then also on August 24th, we have a new member Sunday. If you're not a member yet, feel free to come to that class and learn about the benefits of membership, which includes discounts to classes like the 5 Steps to Freedom, and discounts also to renting the facilities here. So there's benefits to membership. Just to name a few things, there are other benefits too. You can also just come to the class to learn more about the inner workings of our center. So join us. That's not till August 24th, but before you know it, August comes, everything comes. So. And also we're having ongoing different things that are every week. On Tuesday, Michael Coleman does the, my brain just went blank, Course in Miracles. Wednesdays we have meditation, and now on Fridays at 10 a.m. we have the chanting. Now this is, it is a fee-based chanting. The meditation is free. The Course in Miracles is free, but this is somebody outside that's charging for this chanting. Julian Poirier, who's the same person doing our choir as well. So if you're interested in chanting, give it a try. Fridays at 10 a.m. right here in the sanctuary. And then just to remind you, as we've talked about, affirmative prayer is the foundation of our beliefs here, as well as meditation and an inner contemplative practices. And if you're interested in having prayer for whatever going on in your life, or for someone else, a concern you have, or something you want to expand, I invite you to stay for prayer after the service. Our practitioners will be available for one-on-one prayer, or also there's prayer request in the lobby, prayer request online. The practitioners and I are honored to be able to pray for you, to put into practice this affirmative prayer for you. So feel free to have the courage or the willingness to open your heart in prayer. We're glad to be there for you. And now we'll begin the sacred part of our service.
Sacred music, sacred moment. And continuing with this sacred moment, I invite you to rest your eyes shut if you feel comfortable doing that. And just take a nice deep breath in and out, however it feels comfortable to do that. Just breathing in spirit, source, love, the air, and just letting your mind rest in this sacred moment. I know that spirit and source, creator, creation, life is here, is present right now. And I know that I'm connected to this. And that this allows me to know that you are all connected to this. And that whatever you're feeling in this moment, I don't know exactly how it feels for you. And I do know that whatever you're feeling is God, is source. So just tap into that feeling of God. And let's just go silent for just a moment while you feel God and source. And I know because I can feel this source, I know for you as well, that everything is good today. And I just know that we're all in communion here together. I actually just cherish these moments where we get to do this together, because I just feel it even more strongly. And I just know that you are protected, you are divinely guided, and you are loved, and you are held secure in this source, in God. And so it is. So I just wanted to reflect for a moment and tell you a little about a recent story of mine in my life. So back when I was thinking about how am I going to manage being a single mum by choice, I had it all figured out because I just knew, well, I need money. I just need more money to have an entourage of people help me out, and everything will be fine. I'm going to work hard. I'm an executive. I'll just work hard and earn some more money. And I ended up in the opposite situation of that. I ended up in the opposite situation of having more money. And when my son arrived, my mom, who was here helping me, was asking me, or worrying for me, what are you going to do? She's thinking, oh my gosh, she's by herself. She doesn't have any money coming in. She's going to have to pay somebody to look after him. How's she going to do that? How's she going to get some money coming in? What are you going to do? And I just said to my mom, Mom, I don't know how. I just know that things are going to fall into place. I don't know how. So I sounded pretty strong, right? My faith sounded pretty strong in that moment because logically, everything had already fallen into place in my life. I'd had so many examples, so many miracles. But the truth is, the minute to minute, my faith isn't always that strong. There's those dashes of uncertainty and thunderbolts of fear going on. And it just, no matter how many miracles I've had happen in my life, I just, when we're not 100% sure of how things are going to work out, there's always uncertainty, there's always fear. And I know that it gets easier. Years ago, I would have been completely spinning out if I'd have been in this circumstance. And through my spiritual practice, I just know if I keep on meditating, keep on praying, keep on affirming, keep on, being in a spiritual community like this with like-minded people and listening to all this, books and podcasts, like consuming all this content that's just constantly keeping me in this groove of all is well, things do get easier. So some information came my way that I was eligible for a childcare benefit. And my mom, who is a nurse of 50 plus years, as she transitioned from being here to support me back to England, another nurse of 50 plus years transitioned into my life. The Mary Poppins of Napa, you may know her, Monica, very active in the community with everyone. And she's been here providing me with part-time care while I grow my business. And it's just beyond anything I could have thought of. She's really become a second grandma to myself and Eamon, which is important because as a single mom by choice, he only had one grandma, so now he has two. She's wonderful, and now I'm here in this moment, how rich I am, how rich I have become. Back when I was planning and thinking I need more money, I just could never have imagined how rich I would actually be. We always think we need more money, when in actual fact, we just need more love and more support. So I guess what I wanted to say to you today is really that, we have a wish for something and we get all impatient. Because when's it going to happen for me, right? Or I don't know what's going on. It's, when is it going to appear? And it's good that it doesn't happen straight away, that we have that time buffer built in. And then the fear and the uncertainty comes up along the way, right? And then at some point your wish arrives, and it is always beyond anything that you could ever have imagined. And, I just wanted to say that, losing faith is part of it. We're only human, and that's just part of the journey. And just that all is well. I know that all is well. All is always well, whatever it is that you're wishing for that you don't have right now. And so it is.
Yeah, thank you, Dawn. You can change the reverb setting. I love it. Dawn told me she sings that little chant we sang this morning to her baby. I was so thrilled that it's doing its job. My children are out there successfully serving the community. A friend of mine wrote this song last week, and I thought it was perfect for going deeper, since that's the theme of the day. You can go at your own speed. You don't have to go fast. You can go at your own speed, at a pace that will last. So much will become you when you go really slow. You'll see moments of kindness, and your love, it will grow. For the world all around you, for the leaves and the wings, go at your own speed. Find a rhythm that sings. Go at your own speed. can stop when you want to. Feel your feet on the earth. Sense the water inside you and know what it's worth. So stop when you want to. Feel the smile on your face. Be the love that surrounds you when you stay in one place. For the world all around you, for the leaves and the wings, go at your own speed. Find a rhythm that sings.
Beautiful, beautiful song. So who's this composer?
Patrick Woodworth is his name. He's a poet and
Yeah, it sounds
my
very
best friend
poetry.
for 40 years. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us today. So good to have everybody here today. I see a lot of faces I haven't seen in a while, so it's great to have celebrating today here at the center. So good to have everybody here. I left one thing out of the announcements I wanted to make sure and throw in there. This is the last Sunday to contribute to our Uganda project, our Uganda school project that Sean is, and talk to Sean if you have any questions about that. But we're wanting to send a check out to Uganda for scholarship, and we're like a couple $100 short for a full scholarship for a student. So if you happen to have money that you would like to contribute above your normal giving, we would appreciate that. You can see Sean or Mary. Mary's back there, you know Mary. So, you know, it's also good to know we have Queen Mary, and that now we have a new Mary. We have a Saint Mary Poppins back here. So, a new name for Monica here, who's caring for a lot of people, doing a lot of things, and we appreciate your work, Monica. So let's give her a round of applause. So the theme today is about diving deeper. It has been the whole month. A really great topics we've had. In particular, today is about insurmountable obstacles. And this is, it's interesting because my wife, Michelle, has a relative. It was her sister-in-law's mother who passed away. And her name's Lynn. Lynn's mom was a very devout Christian, read the Bible daily. And in her Bible that she read, in the margins, it had just this little handwritten note that has nothing to do with any verses, because I've researched it. It said, "Insurmountable obstacles, go deeper." And that is just really, it inspired me then and continues to send a message to me about when I hit a proverbial wall or a challenge that I don't know what to do with, turn within. And what I know is it doesn't always solve or you know, the wall doesn't necessarily disappear, poof, it's gone, but that I feel guided and calmer and open to intuition and wisdom that I didn't have before. The things, thank you, Dawn, for your sharing. She was talking about synchronicity, things that were working in divine flow. Those things happen. They don't always happen unless we're open to it and ready to receive. so many things we can quickly dismiss as coincidence, or you're too busy, or you're too concerned, or I also liked your phrase about somebody that was, your mom was worrying for you, you know. We worry for others sometimes instead of praying for them. Maybe, maybe a little of both, either way. But I just love this idea. But before I go too deeply in that, I do have a lighter story about a journalist who was in Israel, was supposed to do a story on the Wailing Wall. And you're probably familiar with the Wailing Wall that's in Jerusalem that people go to. It's the remaining western wall of the temple that was destroyed in 70 AD. So it's pretty miraculous because they consider this a sacred place, and this is all that's left of it. So people go to it and they pray. They put little scrolls of prayers in there. And so this journalist was talking to people after their prayers and different things. And she knows one particular older man who had, she saw him every morning there, and sometimes during the day later on too. So she went to him and said, I just wanted to interview if it's okay. And he goes, sure, And she goes, how long you been doing it? For 25 years I've been here. I've been, in the morning I come and I pray for sisterhood and brotherhood and for all people to come together as one. I go home, have some tea, and I come back and pray for the removal of diseases and illnesses and pain in people. She goes, wow, that's remarkable, doing that for 25 years. And she said, but the world still has problems, so what do you think about that? How do you feel when you go to the prayer? Do you think it makes a difference? And he goes, well, I tell you, to tell you the truth, sometimes it's like I'm talking to a wall. Sometimes we feel like we're talking to a wall, right? We hit this wall straight up that it's an obstacle. And the idea is that instead of wasting energy on that worry or that concern or that or trying things that don't work, I've done that before, right? Because we've got to do something. Maybe instead of doing something, we do nothing, at least temporarily, and go within and just consider the possibilities to find a deeper sense within ourselves, a sense of intuition, of wisdom, a deeper truth. And what I know throughout written history, the masters that have been around, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Lao Tzu, social activists like Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dolores Huerta, Cesar Chavez, John Lewis, they all, when they hit obstacles, and believe they had a lot of obstacles in trying to achieve what they wanted to achieve, they went to prayer. They went to contemplation about what was highest and best. I remember Dr. King in the movie about his life was marching across a bridge. And the police, instead of having an obstacle, a gate there, they opened it up to let him march. But he had the sense it wasn't time yet. And he turned around. And that was about his guidance, about his openness there. Yeah. Alice, could you turn down the AC a little bit? It seems to be a little cold in here. And I just think this is just power for us, this inspiration. As I mentioned, not necessarily a solution we find. The wall doesn't necessarily disappear. It does suddenly open up like the Berlin Wall, just suddenly there's an opening, but sometimes that does happen. But I feel calm and peace as I go forward. I love the work of Wendy DeRosa. We've done some classes based on her work. She wrote a book called The Empowered Empath. And what she writes is that we don't need more information. We need more inner connection. She goes on to say that that's where the clarity lives. That's where intuitive leadership begins. That's where answers you're seeking already exist. If we can tune out the noise of the world and our own inner chatter for a relatively short time, we can find clarity and peace that is verifiably true. It is from this trusted source we can create equivalent experiences in our outer life. A phrase we often use in New Thought here at Centers for Spiritual Living is, we can use our thoughts to create desired experiences. Or our thoughts can use us to create undesired experiences. If we're not mindful, not aware, which for me, it's not automatic. It is, you may think that, oh, he's always mindful. No, it's not automatic. I've got to check in. And I check in to see if there's a fear, an anxiety, a hesitancy, and maybe there's a good reason for that. But I need to, I check in within because I know that's the verifiable one. Instead of listening to other opinions or my own opinions that are chattering away. I don't need to listen to anybody else's opinions. I've got plenty going on in my head. What I call mind chatter or mind talk. And I'm once again saying it's not always easy separating our thoughts from the opinions of others and finding this deeper truth. So how do we know our path of healing? How do we know what the deeper truth is? How do we know which way to go? There's 3 things I'm going to bring up with you. And today, the first one is to dive, dive, dive. Now, I don't know about you, but somehow, as I was a kid, I didn't watch much television, but the television I did, I was one of these kids that just was like locked into television. You had to like literally come up to me and shake me to get me unfocused because I love stories so much. And somewhere I heard some kind of show in the water about submarines and the captain's going, commanders going, dive, 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 as if it's like trying to avoid some monster or something going on. Now, I tried to look on the internet and nowhere is there any show that ever talks about that. And I'm sure no Navy, in real life, no Navy commander ever said that. But somehow that's etched in my memory of that, about diving. And for me, it's still a thing to remember, that to dive deeply, to just allow myself to open up to the greater truth that's within me. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about the edge of resistance. So, sometimes we're on the edge and we know there needs to be change, but we resist it. And somebody came up to me and said after that talk that she said, I don't really feel that edge of resistance. And I knew about her life. I said, that's because you've already jumped. You've already leaped and you're in it. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't know which way to go. It's like being in a swamp up to your eyeballs. It's hard to find the vision. It's hard to find what you are because you are deeply, your feelings, your emotions, the chaos is all there. So instead, wherever we are, it only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take a long hour of meditation trying to find out the essence of all life. Just go, God, what is the highest and best in this situation? How can I show up lovingly? How can I let go of this so I can be present? Just some simple questions. Just pause for a moment and turn inward. And you align with what is the deeper truth. Now, as I mentioned, sometimes when I check into myself, I have a slight anxiety or concern, or maybe it's a meeting I'm going to, or a really difficult conversation I'm about to have that I know, and I'm not sure exactly what to say, or how I'm going to approach it, or what's going to happen with a particular project I'm challenged with. And the other day, I compared it to the day when I was doing some work here at the center, and I was up on ladders, and I was installing some security cameras. Not something I usually do, but it required going up at least above people's reach, because otherwise they're security cameras, right? And I don't want people to be able to reach them. So it's climbing up fairly high, and I have a medium fear of heights. And what I know is my fear is a healthy fear. There is such a thing as healthy fear. It's checking it out. Should I be climbing up this? Should I be climbing up this ladder? Or is this the highest and best? It was okay. Yeah, I got a yes on that. But I'm taking those ladder. The ladder, when I put it up against the wall, I'm like moving it around, shaking it a little bit, checking to make sure it's secure, because I want to make sure, this healthy fear tells me to make sure it's okay to step up the ladder. And even with the first couple of steps, I make sure it's solid. I do the same thing when I'm checking within. I'm rattling things around. I'm moving around. Well, if I choose this, how does that feel? What's my experience of that? Spirit, what is the highest and best in this situation? Or if I choose this one, well, what is the highest and best? I'm kind of rattling around. So what am I afraid of? What am I concerned about? It's usually nothing. It's usually made up. But there may be a concern there that I want to, okay, well, I can address that. I can deal with that. I understand that. But I know what doesn't work when I have an important conversation to have. It's not going, well, if they say this, then I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this back to them. I'm going to be ready for that if they say that. Instead, letting go, knowing what your intention is, what you would like to communicate, and be open to what they're communicating also, listening and being present. And if I'm all concerned, well, I've got to tell them this, I've got to tell them that, and they got to know that this is the way what I need in this situation, then I'm up in my head and not in my body and not my heart, not present. So it's just so important to do that, and we just know that it's like returning to our body in this way, returning to what is deeper and higher. Now, what's interesting about our Centers for Spiritual Living, we were first called Religious Science, and our philosophy is still called the Science of Mind. So it is based in science. And what's fun about the original work that Ernest Holmes and other New Thought writers wrote about is now being confirmed by science. It was then just kind of anecdotal science. Like it worked for me. The Ernest Holmes' whole idea was we try affirmative prayer. We try different things to see if it works in our lives. And it worked in our lives where we develop a movement out of it and begin to study it and understand it. But now science is showing through research that it is accurate. About 40 years ago, there was a man named Larry Dossey. He's a medical doctor. And he did... what he did is he took all these studies on prayer, different kinds of prayer, and kind of analyzed them and summarized them. And what he found is he was hoping that prayer would be conclusively proven that it worked, and he didn't find that. But it's interesting, I looked at his, because I'm kind of a nerd about studies and research. I've taken a lot of statistics class and stuff in my master's degree in psychology. And so I kind of nerded out with his work because I thought, well, wait a minute now. I think prayer works for me. I wonder why this study didn't show that. But it was interesting. So they did double-blind studies with prayer, okay? And so they had people who were in the hospital having treatment for different things. And they divided them in 4 groups. One group, they told them they were going to get prayer for their situation, and they did. Another group, they told they were going to receive prayer, and they didn't. And both of those groups had positive results, better than the other groups, more healthier, reported less pain, more mobility, reduction of symptoms, different things like that, versus the groups that were told they weren't being prayed for, even though some were, and told they weren't being prayed for, and they weren't. Their results were inconclusive and not effective. And so their conclusion was, well, prayer doesn't work because the people could receive prayer, even though they didn't think they were, and it didn't work on them. But here's what I know, is that the people that thought they were going to get prayer, it benefited them, which means to me that if you were open and willing to allow Spirit to come through our lives, it works. It doesn't matter where somebody's praying for us or not. We can pray for ourselves. We can be open to Spirit in that way. And that's why often we ask people, when you request a prayer here, that's the start of the prayer right there. I assure you we are praying for you also. And you've already opened up to Spirit in a new way. It's like the people that go to a doctor's office and feel better before they even see the doctor. You're invited for prayer and you feel better doing that. And here's the other thing. The other part of the study I thought was real, I loved this, is everybody who wasn't part of the study, but they didn't realize they were, who were the people that were praying for others? They were measuring them too on their feelings of contentment and happiness and feeling healthy. Almost 100% of those people felt better. So Dossie's and other people's thought is, the prescription is not only to receive prayer and be open to prayer, but to pray. Meditate. Deepen in, and things shift in our lives because of that. It's just that way, and that's the value. Please be part of this new class, because I think there's so many things that can get benefits out of that. We've seen Joe Dispenza's work. If you haven't, I can re-show that sometime after service, called The Source, and he talks about how our brain changes, our immune systems change, mobility and symptoms change because of meditation and prayer, and how powerful that is. So the next thing I wanted to say is you might as well go deeper, and yes, that's a little pun about the well that deepens there. What's interesting about when people dig wells, what's recommended is you don't stop digging when you first find water. You go down a little deeper to where you're deep into the water table there, because during drier conditions, you'll still have water. If you stop at the first little part of the water table there, the underground system, then you might run out of water in drought times. And the same is true for meditation. Just because when you first get it, you might see a little relief, a little comfort, but don't stop then. Go a little deeper, because what you're developing is a pattern in your body, in your soul, that you can depend on when things become drier, less available to you. So connect with that and allow that to deepen into that truth, into that above life itself. And what I know is that it can connect with us in a deeper way. And then when we allow ourselves to know what is calling us deeper, to let deepen that channel, that water, that well. And what I know is that sometimes it takes more time than other times in our deepening time. Sometimes it's just a quick check-in for things. Sometimes we need a little more time to allow things to work through there, because of our own belief system, but more than likely because in consciousness we need time for things to shift and allow. And it's okay to take a little deeper time, and I encourage you to do that. And some things are worth, even if they seem like they might be ending or changing or shifting, to spend some time with it. I honor the Reeds and Crush MS, what happened at the 11th year. And every year they go, well, I don't know if we're going to do it another year. It may come to an end. Our volunteers are getting older. I said, don't say that. Oh, wait, I just said that, didn't I? But the truth is, they keep getting called to do it another year, and they're checking in. They're not saying, well, we're going to do this no matter what. They're checking in. Okay, there's another year to do it. The housing project next to them changed their parking situation. They found adjustments. Different things change. Wineries change. Volunteers change. People change. There were probably, I would say, I talked to a lot of people because where I was, I saw a lot of people coming in. A good 25% of the people had never been there before. So new people are showing up. There's new life. New people showing up at our center. There's new life. We continue. We don't make judgments about it. We don't close the door. And no. So we allow ourselves to, something is deeper. Wendy DeRosa, I loved what she talked about, is there's a version of us that no longer needs to apologize or dim our light just to keep others comfortable. That when we walk into a room fully grounded, present, open, and we can be unchanged by the energy around us. We never are meant to shrink to fit. So be the fullness of your light, the fullness of your truth. And to find that, check within first. Deepen in. True healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been beneath the conditioning. You're allowed to take up space, allowed to be seen, allowed to lead with your light in every way, to be a way shower. Not because others think you are wonderful, but because you are called to be something more. So I'm going to invite Bodhi up here. And this is a song that's a Jamie Lula's song, but I was talking to Bodhi, we were talking online this week about the song, and he goes, you know, I asked him if he knew the song, and he goes, oh, I know the chorus, I sing it all the time. So just like Dawn has earworms of your songs, we all have earworms of other songs, and this is one. So what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes for a minute and listen to this song, and just allow yourself to feel what's calling you right now.
Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before.
Speak out something that's calling you right now. And I'll repeat it so it can be heard online as well. And then anybody online, if you want to put it in the chat, something that's calling you. So what is calling you right now? Just speak out. Say it again. Stop the genocide. To stop genocide. What else is calling for you? Courage. Rest. Rest. Yeah. Empathy. Listening. Harmony and motherhood. Life. Love.
Compassion.
Compassion. Just allow yourself to keep feeling that and know that you can return to this moment at any time, just to check in with yourself about what is calling you and to live out of that knowingness. I love what Ernest Holmes says when he said, we plumb the depths to reach out to infinity. We cannot encompass infinity. We shall always be expanding, always enlarging our capacity to know and to experience the divine. Let the spiritual depths of our being flow through our conversation and into our acts. Our whole purpose is to make the intellect an instrument for the spirit. We can be artists in living. To live by inspiration means to sense the divine touch in everything, to enter into the spirit of things, to enter into the joy of living. Let us enter into prayer in this moment, into the joy of prayer, into the joy of the depth of our soul. For we know that life itself is moving in and through all that is. I'm just so grateful for this deeper connection that's within us, that we don't have to rely on things outside, but rely on within. And I know Spirit is that force within you that is bringing truth and comfort guidance and love, empathy, life itself within you that's teeming. And we know this is spirit that continues to be within you today and always. We tune into this knowing this truth and this power and this love is what it is. We're so grateful for that today and always. We're blessed. We are alive. We are powerful. And for this we're grateful. And so it is.
Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. And now there's peace through all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Yesterday the clouds they hung so low. Yesterday the clouds they hung so low. Yesterday the clouds they hung so low. And now there's peace through all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Love of mine, kindly turn the time. Love of mine, kindly turn the time. Love of mine, turn the time. And now there's peace through all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Sleep, my child, you are safe and sound. Sleep, my child, you are safe and sound. Sleep, my child, safe and sound. And now there's peace through all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Sing it with me. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. And now there's peace through all the land and o'er the deep blue sea.
You're bringing the Mount Shasta energy with you today.
Oops. Can't shake it off. But I have to beg to differ, shrink to fit. When I buy my Levi's, I want them to shrink to fit.
That's right.
I wash them and they shrink to fit. So sometimes there's an appropriate time to shrink to fit.
There you go. So this time in our service, when we invite you to be part of the law of circulation, we appreciate all the financial and volunteer contribution you give to us in all ways. So thank you. And if ushers could come forward. We know that which you give to us aligns in circulation with giving and receiving in your life of joy, of love, and prosperity. So we ask that you take your hand and put it over your heart to represent what you're giving today of joy, of peace, or giving that you've done in the past or today. And we simply say, we bless you today. Whoops, wrong one. How about this one? Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm a talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. Yeah, I did God I'm a talking to. I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm a talking to, woo, self to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm a talking to, I give myself to be used. I give myself to be used. I give myself to be used by, are you ready for it?
We appreciate everybody being here today, but we want to acknowledge anybody who might be here for the first time. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have a gift for you. So also, if we miss you, there's information out at the information table, and you can take your information to get more about that. And also, the information table has all sorts of sign-up sheets, registration information, as does our website. There's events listed, different things going on. So please, if you have questions, it's always available to you any time of the day or night. So let's acknowledge our new people here. So we raise our hands and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Could the practitioners come forward, please? There is prayer available if anybody would like it after the service. Simply just stay in your seat or linger into the sanctuary while other people file out. There's lots of food and coffee and tea available, and lots of good conversations to join us for that as well. Now let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I am led by Spirit.
I am led by Spirit.
I am guided by wisdom.
I am guided by wisdom.
I am protected by love.
I am protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I'm here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
So grateful.
And so it is.
So it is.
And now Bodhi's closing song, which is here somewhere. There it is. Peace is every step.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. And I know the joy of being. And I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up and peace is every step. Oh, and peace is every step.
step with peace and everywhere we go. Even if you go to Battle of the Bands today, right? Were those not passed out on the way in? Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Monica, for supporting Dawn. It was great to hear her up today. That's right. That's right. There you go. Yeah. You were talking about that, and Dawn was talking about it too. Do you have that guy's name? Oh yeah, okay. I'll look. Okay, I'd love to have them here for a kids event on a Saturday morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great service.
Good.
Loved
Good.
it.
Good. 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 Hi.
Good service today.
Good. 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 Thanks for everything you did yesterday. Hey.
Hey, I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Hey.
Hi.
Congratulations on the article. That's so fun.
Yeah, we had a wonderful meeting with her, and she's a beautiful human being. Oh my God.
Oh, great.
I think she's gonna come to the next meeting.
Oh, good. Good.
And I, of course, forgot to send you a slide.